Are we live on everything?
Yep.
Sweet. Hello, everybody. What's good? What's good? It is me. I know you probably don't recognize me because, last week I looked like Wolfman Jack. Today I look like I'm Puerto Rican or something. I don't know. But my name is Prophet, and you, yes, you are here at Berkeley Poetry Slam, aka the Berkeley Poetry Slam, and we are here as we are every single Wednesday, and we got a great feature and a. I ain't gonna lie, we got so many fucking heavy hitters in this lineup. I am super excited to get the show started. But before we get this show started, we got to show love and give thanks to those that make this show possible. And that is viewers like you, but it is also the support of our patrons, aka our Patreon sponsors. And I'd just like to give a few words about them real quick. Today's show is brought to you by our support from our generous patrons over at Patreon, and of course, from viewers like you. The show, while super rewarding, still has to abide by the merciless rules of capitalism, which means every contribution given to us helps RichOak Events plan and budget to ensure that we are paying our feature artists, supporting local writers, and providing a space for East Bay community to enjoy live art. So I want to show love and give maximum thanks to Jessica Kozachick, Emily Chow, Kayla Lilly, and Renee Edmonds. Um, and I also want to thank Jessica Kozachick specifically for sponsoring one of our weekly workshops. I will speak more about those in a minute. Um, but this next shout out, though, I want to, as long as I have your consent, give you a huge, huge hug for your support at a rate of $100 a month. So I want to give maximum love to Alice Grimm for making it possible to have that $100 a month to go towards the Allen Bluford Center for Justice, our home, our headquarters, our main base, especially for our Rich Oak Alchemy open mic. Once again, I'll talk about that later. But if you enjoy what you are seeing, or you just love the arts, or believe in reparations and the liberation of third world people, please head over to patreon.com/richoakevents. And once you go there, you can sign up for different tiers of support. Any contribution you give us helps us to meet our goals, pay our venues, give back to our community. And if this interests you, if this sounds like a good idea to, I don't know, put money where your mouth is and actually support the arts, actually support the part of our culture that sustains our souls, if that's a good idea to you, please head over to patreon.com/richoakevents, or you could donate to us via Cash App, hashtag Rich Oak Events, or Venmo at Rich Oak Slam. Thank you for your support, and now on to the show. Um, so the difference between a poetry slam as opposed to a concert or as opposed to an open mic, for example, is that one, we pay people at the end. Sometimes those other things could be sketchy. Number two, pretty much we have rules, and these rules, even though I don't like rules personally, are what make a slam a slam. So, poets, you have 3 minutes to share whatever you want, and you get a 10-second grace period. But at 3 minutes and 11 seconds, you will be deducted. Um, at 4 minutes, you will be muted, and or we will play some non-copyright music over you. It really is the most awkward experience you could possibly imagine. Please don't make me do what the that theater in Harlem does at Showtime at the Apollo. Where the Sandman comes out with a big ass cane and hooks you off stage. Yeah, please don't make me have to do that to you. I love y'all. Like don't make me be that asshole. There are no props. There's no musical accompaniment, and the top five. you heard me. The top 5 poets go on to the second round. Um, so one thing about Berkeley Slam that makes us a bit different than a Chicago Slam or New York Slam or LA Slam is that we have the word of the day. Now, you could consider it a gimmick, you could consider it ancestral gaslighting, but this is something we do to give poets a chance to have their scores reflect the quality of their work. If you use this word, you will get an extra point in your poem. And hello, you don't have to worry about, like judges, you ain't going to have to worry about giving that extra point. Our scorekeeper will take care of that. But today's word of the day is, I don't know, it's kind of hard to comprehend. It's kind of hard to understand what this word means because I was public school educated, but it is fathom. To make a searching exploratory investigation or probe, to take soundings, to measure by a sounding line, or to penetrate and come to understand. So if you could use any variation of the word fathom or the word fathom itself, you will get that extra point. And I gotta tell you, it is sometimes the difference between winning and losing, sometimes the difference between making money and making a happy memory without the money in the end. So please take note of that. Please do try to use it in a very authentic way. If you say this poem is called "I Can't Fathom Why He Would Do That to Me," yeah, it's not gonna work. So you gotta try to make it have a very natural flow in the way you use it. Audience, you know what? I know. It's some light skinned nigga shit to do to tell a nigga what to do in their own house, but we got rules for y'all. First rule is we want you to like, share, and subscribe to our IG and our Twitter at Berkeley Slam and our Facebook at the Berkeley Poetry Slam. Um, it's not because I want to be bossy and tell you what to do. Truthfully, it's because it is going to nourish your soul. It really is. So do like, share, and subscribe to Berkeley Slam on IG and Twitter, Berkeley Poetry Slam on Facebook. Comment on the feed. Comment on the live stream wherever you're watching it. Please let the poets know how much you love these poems. Be more enthusiastic than you would at a slam in person because they can't hear your voice, because they feel like they're speaking into a void. It is you that lets us know that people are actually listening, people are actually watching, and people are actually receiving our heartfelt words that we are pouring out of our souls. Um, and with that said, are we ready to get this show started? I feel like I've been talking since I died. We ready to get today's show started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo!
All right. But nah, we not. Because we, in order to get today started, in order to get these judges warmed up, ooh, wait, I forgot. The judges have rules too. Judges, you're going to score between a 0 and a 10 on the Dewey Decimal System. I think that's what it's called. So a 0.0 is like your landlord comes to evict you on the day that you pay your rent on time. Um, like your mom gets sick, uh, like you lose your job. Basically, a 0.0 is like the book of Job in the Bible. Like your whole life sucks for a long time period, right? But a 10.0 is when Jesus turned water into Hennessy. In the Bible, they cleaned it up and said wine, but we know what it really was. Come on now. But yeah, like a 10.0 is just like all of your life's dreams coming to fruition. That's what a 10 is. So, judges, we're about to have what we call a calibration poet or a sacrificial poet come to get y'all ready to assign points to poems. I know it's a whack job to do, but it's going to be the hardest job of the night. So, um, our sacrificial poet for today is my good friend that I'm excited to bring up to the stage. And before I call your name, I just want to shout out the list of incredible poets that we have for you today. We have Resonant, we have Will Allen, we have Andrew Gomez, we have Damani Thomas, we have Moody Black, we have Nicole Tracy, we have Tony Alderando, and we have Solva. Um, so many heavy hitters on this list. I'm I'm so glad I'm not slamming tonight. Like I'm just hosting because like having to compete against these names, like I'm already sweating. Damn. So to get the judges ready, to get the audience ready, to get the show started, I want y'all to make maximum noise for our first poet for tonight. Tino!
Woo!
Mic check.
We can hear you.
Shout out to Squidward Tentacles, arguably the most underrated character in the Nickelodeon original hit SpongeBob SquarePants. My man's been holding it down as the grumpiest, most frustrating, underappreciated artist since day one. And oh, what a typical millennial tragedy. Like how many of us have had our hard-earned creativity pay us below minimum wage, turn into homunculus, a laughing stock, but still, Squidward tries, still practices his clarinet, though people call it a dying pet, still takes his ass to his job to deal with his perky coworker and his greedy ass boss. Capitalism has robbed Squidward. If we actually paid our artists, Squidward wouldn't be such a dick to SpongeBob. If people of Bikini Bottom actually knew the true artistry, Squidward wouldn't be the saltiest punk ass neighbor under the seven seas. And still, I'd argue that Squidward tries, says, I'm ready more than SpongeBob, still finds a glimmer of motivation. I imagine days where all Squidward wants is more sleep. For the rest of Bikini Bottom on cancel, no syndication. Like episodes don't go by unaired between the times his failures are a punching bag delivered as a joke, where he secludes himself, the stringent tentacles that he's been carrying for far too long. Squidward, heard your suicide attempt was named a lost episode. I asked myself, if no one ever saw it, did it ever happen? Does anyone know when we carry depression if it isn't stated outwards from one survivor to another? Is there a point where we say enough, where we stop deeming ourselves worthless, where we stop pretending to be SpongeBob, holding the protagonist role, maybe seek help, allow ourselves to wallow in our Squidward, like stop asking Squidward to be more like SpongeBob. Squidward's feelings are valid. Squidward still wakes up every day and loves himself the way no one else can. Yes, more than SpongeBob can. It takes a seasick body to still stomach the water it's drowning itself in. To write the ink that there are still sweet victories we know in between. So shout out to these moments. Shout out to the clarinet that begs to be played. Shout out to depression, the water that attempts to drown us, but we make our own currents in for the days that we choose to live, that we choose ourselves even when no one else will. Shout out to Squidward and his depression under late stage capitalism for telling us we can say no and live, and no and live, and say no and live. And one day he will say, I am ready. But today, his I hate you is an attempt to muster an I love you he hasn't said to himself, is one we haven't said in a while. So thank you, Squidward. Thank you for staying alive. Gang, 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 gang.
I just wanted to let that poem breathe a little bit. Damn. So, judges, please get those scores in as soon as you can. I got distracted because I've heard that poem before, but every time I hear it, it gets better. So, whew, trying to keep my eyes on the prize. Judges, I also ask that, midway through the poem, you'll have an idea of what the score is. So, like, 3/4 of the way through, or like right after the last line is dropped, please send your score immediately, so that we can give them out to the poets and the audience ASAP. Um, so thank you again for sharing that poem. Poets, I have a couple of strange pieces of terminology I would like to explain to y'all. When I say you're in the hole, no, it does not mean you're losing the slam. No, no, no. What it means is you're third up to the stage. If I say you're on deck, no, no, we're not playing baseball. That means you're going to be next up onto the stage after the person who is about to perform. If I say being born, that means you are about to touch the mic right now. So, in the hole is Andrew Gomez. On deck is Will Allen. And first up, the first poet on today's Berkeley Poetry Slam mic is, I'm gonna need to hear maximum noise. I got small ears, so I need a lot of noise to be able to hear stuff better. You know, um, I want y'all to make noise for Resident.
Yo.
Yo, yo. Mic check.
We can hear you.
All right. What's up, everybody? I'm MC Resonance. This piece is called The Journey. The road goes on for generations. The travelers will disperse delight amongst all the willingly incarnated souls. But what if the ones that didn't know? Amnesia of the internal endowment to reserve a place in the fifth dimension for themselves. The ego took control in a better life they shall never know. I welcome you, dark one, into the lap of luxury followed by pain and woes. We all sold our souls to the devil, but the devil exists not. Negative energy, we double evil, creates the demons of whom we appear, protect the D from the demon, put in front of the word evil. Now you have a personified devil. Our thoughts and experiences create a creature only exists in the mind. Our desires are once creates this full feature ego to keep below, so being the divine. Intellect. Love and a perfect understanding we will fathom with one another. I welcome you, my brother, my sister, my lover, to become one, to help me become one, before reality tears me from duality and back in ether's imagination. You see, I'm the ghost of lives past. Generations have descended to gain these experiences, and I pray the human situation is critical, mind analytical, won't let me forget the fall of angels and demons, third dimensional world. Hey, is this planet yours? May I hide amongst the lost souls? Hide out for a bit, drink some liquor, smoke some weed, and step outside for a cigarette? Yeah, sure, man. Here's a social security card. You may live. Reincarnated to a kid to live and give back to the society. When I'm locked in border, that's smolder, but through the action comes a horde of abstract thought. Who is not a ghost, a spirit, but just is. An enlightened individual. Equality minus elitist political goals, the cynical flow, the pain and woes, and shamanistic pagan rituals will resurrect the Messiah in all of us. It's time to trust our brothers and sisters. Unity of mind, consciousness, awareness on the rise. The yin yang intertwined, masculine, feminine lovers intertwined. Spit worse than the chakra points in my spine. Relentless, but I still find inner peace helps sound the pace of my corrupted mind. Chemtrails, aspartame, fluoride kept my awareness fried, getting drunk and high, but the consequence of why am I really here? But now I know it's to help humanity steer into the right direction. For every single one of you, I feel affection. We're in the same situation. So erase the awkward moments, trying to walk around and get that bonus. Remember, the Arcturians will be one of the group of interdimensional beings in the near future through mass landings will help us all really breathe. So raise your frequency if this is what you want to see. And don't try to break free from the shackles of captivity that we formed in our own mentality, because you and I, we are, but we've always been free. Thank you.
I need a little bit more noise than that. I heard a sci-fi movie in my head during that poem. I need to hear more noise. Thank you, thank you. That was the first poet of the slam, Resonant, and it very much so resonated. Thank you very much for spitting that piece. Earlier today, I mentioned that we have someone that sponsors our workshop, but I didn't mention what our workshops are. So we do 7 shows a month, and in doing so, we have a workshop at 7 p.m. before every show. So before today's workshop, we had a really dope work. Before today's slam, we had a really dope workshop led by Anna Allen, and it was regarding vulnerability. And I'm not gonna lie, as a hood nigga, that's something that I struggle with. So I really needed to hear that and like receive that. And every week, every single week, we have fire ass workshops before the show via Zoom, and we post the Zoom meeting IDs in all of our flyers. So please do come to our workshop next week. Please check it out because you are going to be missing out so damn much if you don't slide through and check it out. If you are a creative, if you consider yourself a writer and it's been hard to find inspiration, I'm not gonna lie, these writing workshops help to sustain me as a writer because like I never run out of inspiration. So check it out. And the way that you can keep posted on our writing workshops is by following us on IG and Twitter at Berkeley Slam. So in the hole is the Monty Thomas. On deck is Andrew Gomez. And next up coming up to the stage is Will Allen.
Mic check, mic check. We can hear you. So y'all, it took me years to fathom that everyone's God was different. That he, she, or they can be made in your image. So my God, well, my God is a black woman. However, I began to question my faith when God started to beat the living shit out of me from the age of 10. I learned using your tongue was a difference between life or death when speaking back to a God you pray to, her voice, being the thunder that ripples through the cells in your skin, left fist, being the lightning that strikes you down, her right, being the storm that engulfs your essence. I always had a different meaning for being under the weather. This God masqueraded as family. Someone I shed blood with was the same one who shed my blood with the carpet, the couch, the curtain that hid their wicked smile that appeared out of the enjoyment of my body, retaliating in pain. Most go to church once or twice a week. I was there any day that ends in why, her home, being the place in which he manifested my prayers into beatings with the curtain rod. Ironic, I always saw death in the room in which those lived in. I always asked, what do you do when you worship a God that beat you with the hand of a devil? The bruises spoke for me when my vocal cords couldn't. They were wrapped around the pain I was forced to swallow and couldn't make room for sound other than the occasional scream. I wondered, is it considered child abuse if I became a man prematurely just to survive? Feeling like my arm held up the weight of the world. They now bear scars that look like the mark of the sun and a crescent moon made by you. So I never forget what night and day looks like in the morning. You're the good Christian that would impersonate the angels in the darkness. The space between your halo transforms to a black hole, inhaling my chances at a childhood. This is what happened when church molds to a prison. Bedroom door converts to a cross for my crucifixion. If I had to describe hell on earth, it would be easy because it would look something like you. You damaged my body while almost damaging my faith in God and black woman. You took my need for someone to listen and rearrange those same letters into silent, forcing me to endure my torment in silence. Even after I escaped, I try to seek guidance again, but I just can't seem to put my hands together to pray to a God, because I would just see a reaper that kind of looks like you, Auntie.
Ooh. Damn. Yeah. Damn. Thank you for sharing that. Can I get a little bit more noise for Will Allen?
Ooh, yeah.
Wow, poet.
Yes.
All right, for sure. So Tino got a 26.8. Still waiting on Resonance's score. And I would just like to let it be known that Moody Black is in the hole. Monty Thomas is on deck. And coming up to the stage right now is Andrew Gomez.
Do not see them in the Zoom.
Alrighty then. I guess we will move on to the next person on the list. And by a little bit of time, I will tell you about our YouTube page. You know, we got a YouTube page just like all the greats. And we have videos from before the Rona and post Rona. Every slam that we've been doing online and offline for the last year and a half now is available on our YouTube page at Bay Poets Unite. Some of the poets that are performing tonight, or that have performed, some of the poets that have been coming to our slams last however many months, you can find at Bay Poets Unite on YouTube. And I'm telling you, anytime that I need inspiration, anytime that I need my soul kind of cleansed of the negative energy that comes into your life from time to time, I just go to some of those videos just get the spirit. It just gives you the Holy Ghost a little bit. So please do check that out. But enough blabbering. In the hole is Nicole Tracy. On deck is Moody Black. And coming up to the stage, right now is Damani Thomas.
Woo!
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
The magical Negro tries to save the Black American from America. I heard the wind water during Katrina and haven't stopped listening since. Pay attention to these howling winds. Beware these dark waters, these teeth of God flesh that will gum a city whole. These ancestral stories tell me there are bodies here, the kind that force love into a person like you might jam a bouquet through a grenade pin. I'm offering protection. May any hooded men die before they meet you. May any weapon formed be your friend. May the sameness between violence and privilege show. May the difference between family and corporation be exposed. What? You can't fathom good juju? In red beans and black-eyed peas and greens, the way they cheer round rice like a homecoming? You of railroad veins, industrial blood, let me remind you how you got here. 2 love songs started at the same millisecond and were okay with silence after. A man-made weapon of earth. Another man stole that weapon and swung a line deep into soil. We called it a border. Economics called it a trade route. The English alphabet can only make words of logic. I've never heard a more boring language. When you suck the feeling out, I guess talking becomes another way to kill you of plastic mouth, fake promises and toxin. Aw. Sad Atlantic story. The Black American can't find his way home. I'm offering a travel guide. When I stick out a hand and you accept, that's how we hyphen. That's how we transcend Atlantic. America is all concrete and bodies of preservatives. To be Black and separate from nature is to be Black and always searching. Not everything earthbound is trying to kill you. Here's a warning. Any geography that has you in chains is not to be trusted. You call me magical Negro, but we know what English does to a name. I know citizen only means something when the US calls you family to justify non-consent. American is a placeholder in someone else's nightmare. A contrapuntal is a form that can be read 2 ways, left, right, and together. The magical Negro writes a contrapuntal for the Black American. Left side, jazz American, red line American, gap teeth American, shea butter American, coconut oil proverb American. Right side, hyphen accomplice, hyphen angry, hyphen invasion, hyphen manifest destiny is a genderless hyphen costume, hyphen my mama warned me about you. A contrapuntal for the Black American. Jazz accomplice, red line angry, gap teeth invasion, shea butter manifest destiny is a genderless costume, coconut oil proverb, my mama warned me about you.
Let's go, poet.
Damn. Judges, I really, really don't envy y'all. Because this is gonna be a pretty difficult slam for y'all to score. For for y'all to really pick the 3 top place prize winners. I'm gonna need y'all to give me a second. Accidentally clicked out of the app with the scores. I finally have these scores for the last couple of poets that performed. So, Resonance received a 25.9. How do we feel about this score, y'all?
Boo! We can do better.
Fucking
Where are the 10?
so. That's what I'm talking about. Because that poem took me out to outer space. Will Allen received 28.9. How do we feel about that poem? How do we feel about that score?
Where are the 10s?
Retweet. Where are the tens?
That's exactly what I'm saying. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one that thought that the judges were kind of tripping a little bit. So just make it show. Now I'm not going to threaten nobody, but get your shit together. That being said, in the hole we have Tony Alderando. On deck we have Nicole Tracy, and coming up to the stage is a bad mother. Shut your mouth. By the name of Moody Black.
Let's go, Moody.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry. I know nothing's funny. See, I have a condition. I have psychopathic laughter, and for me, it's something I can't control. I mean, why cry over something that does not make sense? Like when James Harris Jackson, a white man, followed Timothy Coffin, a 66-year-old Black man, and stabbed him repeatedly with a sword. After turning himself in, he stated, "I was looking to get Black men scared and have them do reciprocal attacks and inspire white men to do similar things." Isn't that crazy? Or like Emmett Till, at age 14, was accused of whistling at a white woman. When the lady's husband heard about it, him and his goons hunted him down, gouged out his eyes, shot him in the head and through his body, tied to a cotton gin fan with barbed wire until the Tallahatchie River. And y'all wonder why we're scared. We always knew that they killed Black people, no matter 14 or 66. And now I'm always smiling, still considered second-class citizens, still asked to have civil liberties, still told that the past gold, but that's hard to fathom when the past got close to a 500-year chokehold on my people. It's the killing joke. I know nothing's funny. See, I have a condition. I have psychopathic laughter. But for me, it's something I can't control, but it's funny how one race don't like another race because of how another race looks or thinks, or they think we don't have the capability to think. They think we're expendable. It's like they lost their minds. That's why we keep losing our Oscar Grants, Trayvon Martins, Sandra Bland's, Philando Castiles, and still people are tired of hearing their names in the poems. But if you don't say their names, they done died twice. Isn't that funny? All the key when they're killing us. It's a knee slapper when they slap us in the face, a hardy hard when the Black body hits the ground. It's me. It's getting a little crazier out there because there's no more Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. They made a suicide squad out of our Black Panthers. We're just hoping the dark night returns because there's always a death in the family, a sunset troubling the innocent because they keep promising us the dawn of a new day. Isn't that funny? America. We've been scared of young white males that grow up to wear white to cover up their faces, paint a smile with the blood of Black folk, and kill for the fun of it. But America sympathizes with those jokers as long as it's Black people dying. It's a manslaughter of cracking up. It's a lynching of giggles. It's an assassination that'll leave you in stitches. They will deal in roof our will to live. I'm sorry, nothing funny. See, I have a condition. I have psychopathic laughter. Sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. And it seems whether we live or die is something we can't control. Isn't that funny?
Okay, poet.
A little bit more noise. Can I get a little bit? Okay.
You did that.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. Judges, I know earlier I was talking a little bit of shit, but yeah, I am glad that I am not having to put points to poems tonight because figuring out the top three prize getters is going to be damn near impossible tonight. And then not to mention we got a fire ass feature coming up. Ooh, yeah. Did I even mention tonight we have the incredible, the legendary Anna Allen featuring. And I am super excited to get into their poetry. After the last couple of poets of the first round. So In the hole, we have Sova. On deck, we have Tony Alderando. And coming up to the stage right now, just so happens to be a very, very dope person and poet by the name of Nicole Tracy.
Oh, Nicole.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Bad. Depression did not make you less of my mother, but it shrunk you down, made it hard to be my mother. Some days it meant I had to be much older than 9, get you out of bed, remind you how to tie your own shoes, make instead of help with dinner. I grew up but the conversation never did. How will I know when I should ask for help? What should I do when help is offered? I should not hate the friends that saved my life when I did not want to save myself. I should remember to breathe even when I do not feel I have a voice. I never had siblings, but depression was always my playmate. We always played hide and seek. I was always to hide, and somehow it was always found. This is not a fun game for me. Mom, did you know depression follows you when you move away? Did you know it carries its own suitcase, takes space, but doesn't pay rent? How do I evict it? Find a landlord, manage a bad tenant who doesn't care about the security deposit and leaves me in ruins. Mother, you asked me if I remember the week I spent at Grandma's. I was 11 and thought it was a sleepover and could not fathom it being anything else. I am 16 now and you tell me it is because Prozac and Zoloft wouldn't stop whispering. Volatile chemicals did not make for stable mental health. Mom, no one can answer these questions. Did you ask the same ones too? If depression steals my voice, will the antidepressant steal the air from my lungs? If one pill at a time doesn't help, will I try and swallow the entire bottle? If depression is hereditary, is the desire to die at the hand of the cure hereditary too? I did not need to make orange bottles my home. Learning new ways out of fear still made me a better version of myself. I'm not afraid of myself anymore.
Woo! Can I get a little bit more noise?
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nicole, for sharing that beautiful poem. I love that in poetry slams, we can talk about the difficult topics and there's no shame, there's no judgment, there's no looking at you or treating you any differently. Instead, you're among kin, it's like a kinship. And I am very grateful for that experience because as an artist, sometimes you can kind of get in your head a little bit and have difficulty being vulnerable among others. But slam is one of those spaces where you're among kindred spirits. And if you like supporting these kinds of environments, these kinds of spaces, please, 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 I beg of you, please donate to us on Venmo or through Venmo at Rich like Richmond, Oak like Oakland, and Slam like Slam. Da, 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 da. Let the boys be boys. Okay, I'm done. I'm old. I had to. It was the fair low hanging fruit. Okay, so moving on. Damani Thomas got a 29.7. Moody Black got a 28.5. Those scores are a tiny, itty bitty, witty bit better than the first couple scores. But judges, man, you could do a little bit better. You could definitely do a little bit better. So in the hole, we have the incredible, the indomitable Anna Allen. On deck, we have Sova. And coming up to the stage right now, not now, but right now, is Tony Alderando.
Come on, Tony.
Oh yeah, 1, 2, testing, mic check, 1, 2.
We can hear you.
We are poets. We're at Berkeley Poetry Slam. We're not that hard to find. We'll massage your temples, touch your hearts, and masturbate your mind. We are poets. We can take pretty words, put them in a poem, and plant a mental seed. Or we can take shitty words when we're filled with rage, put them on the page, and make it bleed. We are poets. We can put words together describing an aroma and make you think that page was scented. We are poets. The reason the exclamation point was invented. We write, recite, and perform. We never ever conform. It's the way we poets know damn well we were born. Pushed out, performing and crying since birth, our hearts already broken and torn. But we as poets, we can take pieces of broken words and turn them into spoken words and give a broken heart a fresh new start. Take a young child's broken dreams and mend them with spoken seams. We are poets, blessed and filled with words. We create with words, relate with words, transform and relocate hearts and minds with words. We are poets. We say things like 5 times 5 divided by pi equal the number of rainbow stars in the sky, and have you ask why? We are poets. It's simple mathematics times dramatics factored into a poetical third eye. And the answer in the back of your mind's book is even simpler. We are poets. Ay, ay, ay. Love making, keyboard breaking, erotic poets. We can make a pen, make love to paper, and make it come. Make words intoxicate your mind like a strong Puerto Rican rum. We are poets filled with laughter, tears, joy, illumination, and patience. We speak at the open mic at presidential inaugurations. From our hearts, the words flow through our tongues, mouths, and lips. Those words magically know where to go. In our heads, the poets of the dead are awoken. We speak from our hearts with the voices of the broken. We are poets, this much we know. We give birth to words, touch Mother Earth through words, and at open mics open our mouths and pour out our hearts through words. We write, then rewrite, and double check the last rewrite, because we know the last rewrite is the one that has to be right. We are poets. We share our breath with words, and we will write and recite till our death with words. We are poets. Thank you.
Yeah. Damn. Whew. I thought the president of the U.S. had one of the hardest jobs in the world, but being a Berkeley Slam judge. So thank you for sharing that poem, Tony. So on deck is the incredible, the awesome Anna Allen, and coming up to the stage is a fire poet by the name of Sova.
Yo, Sova.
One. I've always been described as an extension of someone else, deteriorating to protect them as they watch me disappear. Disposable. My identity is housing every narcissist gutting me. I was planted to uproot myself, question my safety without belief, the child within me and I. For each of our shadows, every thorn, the rubble we are sprouting from, and every spore scattering to bloom without us, deserve peace, without being the first body surrendering a sacrifice. 2. Duct tape, wrapped around the broken pipeline, conceal another ashtray he refuses to admit he repurposed. He'll never fathom the damage, the erosion of adhesive, split connection, trauma still shrieking, hissing from the pressure, an entire bloodline strung with the same fix. My father, another cigarette left burning. I will never hold my innocence again. Withdrawing the fragile silhouette I choke on, the exhale, distance between sparks to filter, appendage of addiction, my own, ending it all together in a hold space for time to doubt everything and grieve the slim chance I will make it. 3. The peak of rejection, replacing my spine with her lungs, carry her survival just to shift the odds on my own, carry her survival just to shift the odds of failing Band-Aid power of attorney, liability, half-empty tanks pulling the plug with fists too loose to untangle, every injection hazardous to my veins, my mother birthing another tragedy, the residue in my palms, the labor of her breath, of my womb released. Her memories prescribed my flashbacks by gaslight, her antibodies atrophy, receding tectonic plates, ashes and silence alone. My spirit aches. Once we bury her, it will all be over. I will have nothing left to heal. I've always been described as duct tape, wrapped around the peak of rejection, an extension of the broken, replacing someone else, my spine, pipeline deteriorating to conceal another ashtray with her lungs, protect them, as he refuses to carry her. They admit he repurposed survival just to watch me disappear. He'll never shift the odds, disposable. Fathom the damage of a failing band-aid. My identity is the erosion of adhesive, power housing a split connection, every trauma still shrieking, attorney, liability, narcissist hissing from half-empty tanks, gutting me the pressure of pulling the plug. I was planted to uproot an entire bloodline with fists too loose to untangle myself, strung to the same fix. Every question, my father, another injection of my safety. Cigarette left my veins without burning my belief I will mother the child within me. Never birthing another tragedy. I hold the residue from my innocence in my palms again, each of our shadows withdrawing the labor of her breath, every thorn the fragile silhouette of my womb, rebel I choke unreleased. We are the exhale her memories prescribe, starting distance between flashbacks from spark to filter by gaslight and every spore, appendage of her antibodies atrophy, scattering addiction, receding tectonic plates to bloom my own ashes without ending it all in silence. Us, together and alone, deserve to hold space for my spirit. Peace, time, aches without being the first to doubt everything. Once we bury her body and grieve, it will all be over. Surrendering a slim chance, I will have nothing left to sacrifice. I will make it to heal.
Please make some noise for that. Please make some noise.
Wow. Wow.
Can I get a little bit more noise than that? I think the
Gang. Yeah. Come on. Oh yeah.
Okay. Now that was enough that was enough noise, not just for the poet, but for all of the poets in the first round, because now that round is over, I could say, God damn, I feel like all 8 of y'all, or however many there are, deserve to go into the next round. Unfortunately, we're only able to take the top 5. But man, every fucking week, it is always amazing, and it's no 2 sign-up list being the same. I love it here. I absolutely love it here. Oh my God, that was an amazing first round. And we're only halfway through this thing. Not to mention the feature hasn't even started yet. And the feature is phenomenal as a motherfucker too. So I did want to say, if in case anyone forgot the last couple of scores, Moody Black got a 28.5. Nicole Tracy got a 29.5. Still waiting for scores for the last 2 poets. And Anna, if you don't mind, I'd like to give you a somewhat hood bio before I give you your official bio. Because you know, as a Richmond nigga, it's what we do. Okay, I'm glad you're okay with it.
Yes.
So I have poet friends from Stockton, California, and I had never met or heard of Anna Allen until recently. But once we booked Anna to feature today, literally everybody else on the RichOak Slam crew got so excited. It was like, as soon as there was whispers of like, Anna Allen's gonna feature, folks were like, what? Anna Allen, woo! Anna Allen, right? Everybody got super duper trooper excited. And when you were like officially booked, like everybody started breakdancing. I saw like a couple niggas doing robots and stuff. Like, I rarely see so many poets in one place that happy at one time, yo. And you have that effect on the RichOak crew, and I know you're gonna have that effect on the audience. I just wanted to let you know, like, how happy. My introduction to you was, you know, like just how happy you made everyone else on the crew to know that you were gonna come through our slam. And to actually meet you during our workshop, like I am so thankful that you had that discussion on vulnerability, which is a subject I very much so struggle with. So like, I am extremely excited for your feature, and I know the audience is too. So, down to brass taxes, the official non-hood nigga bio. Anna Allen from Stockton, California, is a performance poet. She's been published in Sparkle and Blink, Little Death Lit, Chronicling Lit, and others. Her poetry reflects the darkness and light that has been part of her life from the beginning. Their new book, I've titled this poem with your name, published through Nomadic Press, is out now. You can find their book at nomadicpress.org/store/IVETITLEDTHIS poem with with your name. Basically, nomadicpress.org/store/ I've titled this with my I'm sorry, I've titled this poem with your name. I know I just butchered that, so I want to say it one more time for those of us that actually want to buy this book, and despite the fact that I just butchered it twice. nomadicpress.org/store/ I've titled this poem with your name. Thank you for coming to today's slam and blessing us with your art. So can we make maximum noise for this legendary feature that we have? Show your love for Miss Anna Allen.
That's such a good intro. Thank you.
Yeah. Come on, Anna
Really
Allen.
good.
Oh yeah.
Hey, my name is Anna Allen, and I have a couple poems for you. The first one is called On That Very Day. On the day I was laced and tied at the throat, strung up a tree and left hanging, its roots shook in solidarity before the soil swallowed my limbs whole to return me to the mother I came from. I thought of water, of floating on your backside, those crystallized drops clinging to Negro hair like diamonds, making us look holy, divine. For a few seconds, there is no weight. On the day I kissed the floor of the Tallahatchie River and received nothing but a mouthful of black tar, I noted that fists and kicks from steel-toed boots do nothing to quiet generational alchemy. Even with the 70-pound cotton gin fan tied around my neck, I found it simple to soar. And I'm 7 again. And I'm convinced that if I try hard enough, I can spin myself to space. Or I am 3 and there's only daddy in me. And when he throws my body towards God, there is no ceiling. And when those men pull out that pistol, nothing can hurt me. On the day I brought a toy pistol to a gunfight, I counted all the games I was best at. Basketball, Monopoly, never wearing a hoodie, not sagging my pants too low, catching popcorn in my mouth, identifying dinosaurs, no sudden movements, boy, no back talk, boy, no loitering, boy, hands up, boy, hands up. I can't breathe in this endlessness. I can't breathe with the breath of the unicorn on my neck. I can't breathe, and neither could my father and his daddy and his daddy. I can't breathe with your rope around my throat. We haven't taken a breath in centuries, maybe more. I can't breathe when I'm thug, gangster, nigger, spook. We can't breathe. Why the fuck should you? On the day I bought my brother some Skittles and an iced tea for me, I was on the phone. I could never do one thing only. I always had to be working double. I should have hung up sooner. I didn't want anyone to hear me scream more. I didn't want her to hear the air-splitting silence after the screams, what the ending speaks of. On the day I took a BART train to my final destination, I glanced out the window, and in the speeding lights, I watched my daughter grow. Graduation, wedding, grandbabies. I watched it all, dazed. The brightness and hopefulness of it all left me nearly blinded. I shaded my watering eyes. I couldn't wait to see it all real time. I had no idea what the ending would speak of on that very day. Thank you. All right, let's see. Thank you.
On.
Yeah. Let's see. This is baptized number 2. I dreamt last night that you were an escape artist. I'd come to watch you elude. Squinting against the piercing lights, I never reached for my glasses, even when they're right there. I wanted you to be a quick blur. Your mother was a tightrope walker. Your father, an extremist. Your sisters, all acrobats. When you were 3, your parents padlocked your compact body in the bubblegum scented waters and waited. When you emerged free of change, they gave you one single M&M. You never see me. I was there for the mirror challenge. It had taken the Birmingham man 5 years to make those cuffs. 56 minutes later, and I counted everyone. You were paraded around the shoulders of the world's largest man. When you looked, you were delicately set on your feet. I watched the bearded lady smack a kiss on your lips. My skin grew too tight for all the memories inside of it. I remembered waiting beside that oversized milk can filled with water, sobbing, ugly and heaving. Failure means a drowning death. I never believed you, never took you as gospel the way some people do. When you escaped me, it was the biggest feat of your career. Okay, one more.
Wow.
This is called I Want My Shit Back. It's a breakup poem. I want all of my shit back. I wrote 12 poems about you every day, rhymed the words with love and dove, and in every one, I never said I was a talented poet. You have my house key, give it back. I don't want to risk finding you in my bed, naked and possessive, leaving the sheets smelling of firewood and cherries. You have my lipsticks, at least 5 of them. I want all of them. The lipsticks are how I trap women. Dazzled and terrified, the red begins and ends like a traffic light. They are smashing their little red Corvettes into walls, never once taking their eyes off of the red light. Stop extending the process. This is the ending. Your thieving has come to an end. I don't want your hands curling into fists. I won't miss bouncing my head against the wall. I don't want these useless promises to stop the drugs, stop the booze, start loving me properly. Keep it for the next girl. I want your ending. My nail polish, my scrunchie, my vibrator, my water bottle. I want it all. Please give it all back. You're a piece of shit, but you aren't my piece of shit. So give me my shit back. And that's all. Thank you.
Please
Wow.
give maximum love to the poet.
Come on, Anna.
We need more noise for Anna. Their poetry is too good for only one person to say.
Oh yeah!
Okay, now that's a lot more like it. That's a lot more like it.
Yes.
Anna, I would like to apologize to you for misgendering you. I did not mean to use she, her pronouns when reading your bio or referring to you. I apologize about that.
Yeah, no problem.
And moving on, I have the scores for the last couple of poets, and they are right about here. So Tony Alderondo got a 26.4. Solva got a 28.1. And since we are taking the top 5 poets to the second round, our judges just got their wigs blown back by Anna's feature. So they kind of need to be recalibrated a bit, you know, kind of get back into the swing of things. So just to check, we still have our second round tech, right? Or am I blowing hot smoke? You know?
Just say yes, babe.
Yes.
Okay. Well, all right, just double checking. So to calibrate our judges, to get them ready to score poems again for the money round, please show your love for our sacrificial poet, Reggie.
Come on, Reggie.
Woo!
Woo!
gonna pretend like I got my shit together. Okay.
Your mic check is successful.
Thank you. Every white man's family tree got enough niggas swaying from the branches to mistake our blood for their lineage. Subjugation becomes misinformation, becomes rewritten history, becomes slave rape rebranded as an American love story. Look back into my family tree, and there are only white hands that are grasping at black necks. There is only a history of control. Racism does not care who your mother claimed to love. It will still crawl from your throat to call me a nigger, then expect an apology from me afterwards. A white man calls me a nigger and says he means brother, says kinship is a spiritual thing, but forgets the ancestral violence that silences ancestral rage. History nooses its hands around my throat, and here I am, another conquered nigga renamed domesticated. White folks think that the family pets still count as family. Will name the dog a better name than the blackest spots of their legacy. Your family tree is nothing but a lynch mob, a black body swaying in the breeze. The justice that slips through our blood-soaked fingers. When white men say nigga, they mean nigger. And white men say nigger, they mean dead. White men are violent, have been violent, will always be violent as long as the blood on their hand is allowed to evaporate into history or water the ground to nourish the roots of their bigotry. White men who say nigga paved the way for white men who say nigger, who paved the way for white men to kill niggers. We were always dead before they named us. They named us before we could name ourselves. Now every word we pass down to our children carries a legacy of violence. I want a country that will claim me when there is no benefit, when it does, or destruction when it doesn't. I want a name to be more than flesh caked underneath the fingernails of the first white man who tries to claim me. But every syllable in this colonizer's tongue tastes like blood-soaked cotton. There is no name in this language that does not describe who has ownership over my body. There is no history in this country that does not contain all of my family's ghosts. Thank you.
Come on, poet.
Sorry, y'all. My phone's internet started to crap out at the worst possible moment. Please make a little bit more noise for Reggie's poem. Woo! All right. So our poets for the second round are as follows. And they're going to be reading in this order. Solva, Nicole Tracy, Moody Black, Damani Thomas, and Will Allen. I want you to make noise for everybody that made it to the second round, but I also want you to make noise for everybody that performed in the first round, because honestly, like I don't know how we only took 5, because I think everyone deserves to go to the second round, but that's just me. I'm biased. So yeah, shout out to everybody that performed tonight, because
way to go, poets.
This is going to be one of the hottest slams that I think I've been a part of personally. And I am super excited to see who wins or who places. But with that said, in the hole is Moody Black. On deck is Nicole Tracy. And coming up to the stage right now, please show your maximum, utmost to the tippity top of the mountain love to Solva.
Let's go, Solva.
Let's go, Solva. Come on. Gang, 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 gang.
One, the hierarchy of blood. To respect my sister like a second mother. She convinces the first to stay away from my graduation, resenting me for escaping to find a home. What she doesn't have will never belong to me. It's only fair. But I watch her make the choice to reject evicting the lead line. The portrait of her honor, the cycle she accuses me of birthing too. Elders are gifts, the offerings taken for granted. My cousin leaves the fruit of her labor to nourish me. Here, through every orchard I got lost in, I didn't know I needed to create a family that felt safe to come back to in the closet. The fallen petals no one invited to revive, to treasure the facade of perfect. Candy wrappers circling disorder, determination, the healing, finally unraveling her freedom. 3, guiding our young, muscle memory, guardians of different branches from the same tree to keep blooming. An acid rain, misplaced, replenishing ourselves to forgive without her. My child is a blessing. I came out, loop, swoop, and pull her shoes to my innocence. Scuff soul, I forgot I left every generation behind me to follow their footsteps. The untrampled blossom I watered, just another ancestor to blame. 4, to guide the youngest, rewritten, replanting my roots in unfamiliar soil. My nephew, sapling and blue nail polish, orange markers to make up for the girl playing dress up, repeating, Mama, I'm beautiful, to affirm it. Acceptance, discover anything in his smile, hand-me-downs wearing holes in my pockets before him. I pray for his promise, returning the oxygen I lost for the cartography of hope. The hierarchy of blood. Elders are gifts guiding our young to guide the youngest, to respect the offerings taken for granted, muscle memory rewritten. My sister, like my cousin, guardians of different branches, replanting my roots, a second mother, leaves from the same tree in unfamiliar soil. She convinces the fruit of her labor to keep blooming. My nephew, the first to nourish me, an acid rain, sapling, and blue nail polish to stay here, through misplaced orange markers, away from every orchard. I got lost in replenishing ourselves to make up for my graduation. I didn't know I needed to forgive the girl resenting me for escaping to create a family without her, playing dress up to find a home that felt safe. My child repeating what she doesn't have to come back to is a blessing. Mama, I'm beautiful and never belong in the closet. I came out to affirm it. To me, the fallen petals, loop, swoop, and pull acceptance. It's only fair. No one invited her shoes to discover anything, but I watch her revive my innocence in his smile. Make the choice to treasure scuffed hand-me-downs, to reject the facade of perfect soul. Wearing holes, evicting the candy wrappers I forgot I left in my pockets, lead lines circling every generation before him, the portrait of disorder behind me. I pray for her determination to follow his. Honor the healing their footsteps promise, the cycle finally unraveling. The untrampled blossom I watered, returning the oxygen I lost. She accuses me of birthing her freedom, just another ancestor to blame for the cartography of hope.
Come on.
Cartography of hope. Damn, I wish I could make words so pretty. So I have a correction to make. In the first round, I neglected to credit Solva for their use of the word of the day. So Solva in the first round received a 29.1, not a 28.1. Still waiting for Reddy's score, but we will have that pretty soon. And for the second round, in the hole is Damani Thomas. On deck is Moody Black. And coming up to the stage, not now, but right the fuck now, is Nicole Tracy.
Hi, Nicole.
Let's go, Nicole.
Unsolicited advice on how to tell your partner you've been through hell. You can't forget to breathe. Remember, exhaling is a part of breathing. You are allowed to stay or leave based on their reactions. If they ask if they can hold your hand, stay. If they hand you tissues as you cry, stay. Know that this is the kind of love you deserve but didn't get from someone else. If they give a long sympathy-filled apology, look at you with pity, and you shrink, exhale. Don't regret telling them, but leave. If they ask where someone left bruises and they leave new ones, don't marvel at the color your arm changed. Exhale and leave them. If they ask what you did to provoke them, do not answer. Leave them. Exhale. If they are jealous, all of your poems are about someone who hurt you. Smirk. Tell them they are in a poem now. Do not stay for the material. Leave them. Be proud of yourself for recognizing signs of an unhealthy relationship. Be proud of yourself for being brave enough to leave. Know that it is not easy, but it is the right decision. Doing what is best for you is not selfish. Do not blame yourself. You should not have known better. No parent gives you a guide on leaving an abusive partner. You learn as you go, you grow, you breathe, you exhale, you move forward. It is okay to have complicated feelings about the past. It's okay to smile about your first date. Remember why you were happy with him for a while. You know it was not all bad, that they are not an all bad person. But there is no excuse for hurting someone they claim to have loved. No number of good dates makes up for the pain you still feel. Some days it hurts more than others. Remember, it is not your fault. It never was. It never will be. Inhale, exhale, and try and be the best thing for yourself today. Write without knowing where it will go, but knowing you will feel better at the end of it. Inhale, exhale. Remember, you are safe in your writing. You are safe here now.
Let's go, poet.
Yes.
Gang, gang,
Yes.
gang, 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 gang.
Hot diggity damn. Okay, I see we ain't taking those days off. We ain't taking no poems off either. So thank you for sharing that poem. By the way, Reggie got a 28.7. Soba got a 28.8. I just have to say that is some consistent ass judging. I'm gonna need y'all to keep your consistency as we move forward in the next few poets. And before I let it be known who is coming up to the stage for the last three slots for the second round, I just want to let y'all know you can find us every first and third Saturday. So the next one will be on Saturday, March 6th, on IG Live at RichOak Alchemy. On Instagram Live at RichOak Alchemy. We have a writing workshop at 7 p.m. every, like an hour before the show. And then at like 8:15 or so, we start the live. And if you want to be in a community of a really dope ass open mic, if you really want to be in a community of artists that like give each other feedback and like really support each other's work, come to our open mic, the RichOak Alchemy open mic, every first and third Saturday, in person when there's not a Pandora going on. It's at the Allen Bluford Center for Justice in Uptown Oakland. But until we can go back home, until our ancestral home is open for business, we will be every first and third Saturday on IG Live at RichOak Alchemy. And with that said, we have in the hole Will Allen. On deck is Damani Thomas. And being born on the stage right now, I ain't gonna lie, I thought he was like one of my uncles from South Carolina or something for a second, but he ain't. He just looks like he is. Please show your love, Steve Harvey style, for Moody Black.
Moody. Let's go, poet.
To make sweet potato pie, you need 2 medium sweet potatoes, butter, sugar, 2 large eggs, milk, vanilla extract, ground cinnamon, ground nutmeg, salt, and a pie shell. Now, I ain't never made no sweet potato pie, but I consider myself a connoisseur of pie of the sweet potato. And every time my mama used to bake them, I would do my best to sneak out and take them, but it's so amazing how anyone can make them, how some people have the recipe committed to memory. I guess that's why my mama make them so good, because she always hold on to memories, how she never forget all my mishaps, any bad decisions I've made, how I made her grandma at an early age, and life for me ain't been no easy bake oven. But don't get it twisted. I own my mistakes or anything I ever did, but one thing I always done was love my mama. Every interview or award, when asked who inspired me, I would say my mama. But the day I had an opinion or disagreed or ended up looking too much like my daddy, our relationship was never the same. To her, I was crumbling the crust of our family confection. We would argue till it got too hot in the kitchen, temperature always rising, but when it was time to cool off, she made sure I left with all the blame. See, I always thought 2 adults can agree to disagree and still leave the conversation with other mittens of love, but I wonder if that's just it. It seemed that she never see me as a mature adult. And most times she will remind me that she is the parent and I am the child. Honestly, I don't know what's cooking in her brain because sometimes I don't think my mama too much like me. And I learned through her that you can love someone, but you ain't gotta like them. I don't know if it's because I used to be too broke to shower my mom with gifts like the other sons, but no matter how you slice it, I just don't seem to make the cut with her. Maybe because of the mental illness that runs in my family. Maybe still feel that I'm not completely in the pie pan. She once told me that with all the craziness I created for myself, she don't see how I haven't lost it yet. I always tell her that I just fight to show the world what I'm made of, but to her, I just don't have the right ingredients. That I'm always one egg short, that I've gone too nutmeg without grounding my cinnamon. Sometimes I wish we could start from scratch. She refusing to take my calls, y'all. I would leave funny voice messages in hopes to butter her up, but mama would just rather be salty. But for her birthday, I put $100 in a card. And all she said was, "Oh, you working now, huh?" I don't know if she failed as a parent, or if I failed as a person, or if I failed as both a person and a parent, but as a parent that I'm no longer the sweet potato in her eye. And I swear, I want to finish this poem with a happy ending, but I just don't know. I'm still looking inside the oven, hoping we can get things back on the right rack. Not sure how much we got left on the timer, but maybe y'all, just maybe, our pie's just not done cooking yet.
Poet.
Let's go.
Yeah, please show a little bit more love for that poem because it touched the spot. Thank you for sharing. Nicole Tracy got a 29.3, and in the whole we have paying people. Don't you love people being able to sign up for a slam for free and end up with some grocery money? I think that's pretty damn dope. So yes, in the whole we have paying people, the end of the show, and y'all not going back home, but enjoying the mundane homeness of your homes without the slam to distract you. That is in the whole. On deck is Will Allen. And coming up to the stage right now is Damani Thomas.
Defender of Oakland, where you at?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Content warning, mention of cults and mass murder. When Jim Jones, cult leader, poisoned 900 people in Jonestown, tells them to drink the Kool-Aid, we buried the largest mass suicide in modern history under Your MacArthur for a reason. Article says, the US military trucked more than 420 victims to Oakland and laid their airtight coffins like dominoes. What happens when even places abroad confuse your city for a graveyard? Death speaks to Oakland. Everything about you is a metaphor. Too broke to afford safe passage into death. Cheap styrofoam cups and chain link fence means death here. A tombstone, a newspaper headline for those who don't get newspapers. For example, 105th got clean sidewalks yesterday means someone in Oakland lost someone yesterday. You know, we call you baby Iraq for a reason. In 2006, news reports said you had a death toll matching that of war zones. Oakland responds to death. We tried to remind him of 06 Oakland, how death can sometimes be beautiful too, how we've mourned so much that we invented new ways of crying. We be like, sure, send us your dead, and we will make oak trees out of them. For every Uber office, for everyone gentrified and pushed out, we will bring back another and another. We learn death is temporary, but music is permanent. You forget, that a coffin signals funeral the same way E40 reminds Oakland we are not dead just yet. We are not dead just yet, you bleached skeleton. Don't you ever come around here talking about how we missing something when you don't even have a heart. You pretzel chip fragile colonist, entering into neighborhoods not your own and taking what belongs to someone else. I think it's funny how you think we give a fuck about what you think. You don't even live here. How dare you speak without being asked? How dare you make a language birthed from silence? In Oakland, we know what a closed mouth does. Know that passing Fruitvale or MacArthur Station is a time of memorial. We say, Oakland, and drag out each syllable like we're preparing for battle. All this language and you thought you could just talk to us like this. You're just a pile of bones. You do not carry the grief of an entire city in one dance move at a house party. Did you forget how resourceful we are? Death, I feel like you gave us the leftovers of a party we were never invited to and told us to survive. We used styrofoam tomb cups for tombstones and white teas for obituaries. Did you forget how powerful of a people we are? To bring back the dead using only a spray can. Why wouldn't the dead want to be buried here? In a place that refuses to let them go.
Yeah. Woo! Come on. Yes. Fuck yes.
Wow. I'm gonna withhold comments until the very end of the slam, but just wow. So I am still waiting for Moody's score, but that's okay because I can plug another opportunity for you to get some writing workshops and get the Holy Spirit through this dope ass, vulnerable, spiritual poetry by the name of spoken word. How can you do that, you ask? By going to Instagram.com/ or Twitter.com/Oakland Slam, or you can check us out on Facebook at Oakland Poetry Slam every third Tuesday of the month. When we have our in-person shows, it's at Luca's Tap Room and Lounge, which is a really fucking fire-ass bar with great food that you should go eat at any point for any reason at all. Luca's is really that good. But since we can't have it at Luca's, we will be back, I want to say March 16th, for Oakland Slam at IG.com/Oakland Slam. We're on Twitch or Twitter. You can check out the YouTube or Facebook live stream. So check us any third Tuesday of the month. Check us out, Oakland Poetry Slam. Oh, wow. I just was made aware of the fact that we are not on Twitch. I thought Twitter and Twitch was the same thing. I'm old and public school educated, so that's my mistake. We are not on Twitch, but you can follow us on Twitter.
Girl,
at
Twitch. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Twitter.
You saying Twitch so much is making my eye twitch. You see that little eye flutter right there? Yeah.
Twitch. Tripping.
I didn't know that thing existed until like last week. I am that old, yo. You hit 30 in the middle of a panoramic and you know, like just everything changes. So as I am still awaiting some scores, I'm gonna bring the next and final poet up to the stage, because on deck is the end of the slam and us all not going home, but you know, going back to being bored at home. Please show your maximum love to Will Allen.
Let's go, Will.
Woo! Come on, Will.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, thank you. Man, there's nobody in the back.
I wanted to be born a bird. Wings being able to flap away any problem with a gust of wind beneath me, but God had other plans. Still able to glide in the air, born with paper skin, my lifeline is anchored to a little boy. When I fly, it's only me, him, and the string between us. His eyes held freedom within them, joy in every step he took, his parents within shouting distance. This is what a good life looks like. I can see all that takes place below me at the beach, a woman enjoying a day of self-love. I see a couple bathing in a sun shower trying to get their skin to look like the sand they lay on the other end. I see some kids grab food that probably added up more than my life's purchase price. In a world plagued with sorrow, seeing this much peace from a bird's eye view makes my life worth it. Until I see a man with the woman from earlier argue by the bathroom. No one was around them. It seemed as if the man knew the woman. Actually, no. It seemed as if the man wanted to get to know the woman, but she said no. He continued to persist. He grabs her arm and she tried to fight back, but she didn't have the strength. I call out to the boy who holds me tight, but he can't understand the cry for help. It translates as wind gliding across my back. The couple bathing in the sun is too caught up in their tan to realize the struggle taking place. The man then strikes the woman. She falls. A car pulls up. I try and cry out. I don't understand how God gave me his eyes, but no voice. I can see all, but not save the woman below me being manufactured in a factory. Never factored I would have to see shit like this. She is put in the backseat of the car. It drives away. Along with her life inside, a woman who was just enjoying the sun will never see it again. I wish this body had tears to shed. At the same moment, the boy who owns me, I still held freedom. As I continue to fly, a kite, cursed with only bringing joy, while the man stands by the bathroom, waiting for his next victim.
Wow, come on.
Make some noise for that piece.
Yeah.
Let's go, poet.
Okay. So, whew. It's not that often that a light-skinned nigga is left speechless, let alone after every single poem and every part of this slam. So, wow, like my breath, my whole thought pattern, like my edges, like everything was just stolen from me. I'm sorry, yo, like the poems are that fire. So I had been waiting for scores for a minute, but I went and found them. So it looks like for Moody, we have a 29.0. For Damani, we got a 29.4. And yes, can we show some love for all of the poets that touched our stage today? Because hot diggity damn, y'all are good. I just want to hear some more maximum noise for everybody that touched the stage today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. That's what I'm talking about. We are here every Wednesday, and I'm not gonna lie, like it warms my heart to take part in these slams every week, and I think that your soul will also be sustained by coming through and seeing people share their stories and sharing their truth. And yes, as Chris said, fires that could burn a nation. That's what poetry is, and that's what great art is. It looks like Will Allen received a 28.8. I'm not gonna talk shit about the judges. I'm gonna just big up the poet. God damn, Will, I fucking love both of your pieces, and I loved everybody that touched the stage. So it looks like I will be able to give you what you've been wanting. So we know who plays tonight. Can I get a drum roll of some kind? Can we build some suspense or something? Can we make it feel like a real slam? Can I get a drum roll? Can somebody beatbox a couple of drum fills or something for me? Okay, I guess people are shy, so I'll do a drum roll. So coming in third place, I sound like I'm about to have a seizure, but it's cool. Coming in third place, we have winning $20, Sola.
Hey, come on, Solva.
Would you like to say something? Your public awake.
I don't want to say anything. I'm good, thanks.
All right, no problem. Thank you for sharing your poems. I, they made me feel so much. And my old callous ghetto heart wasn't capable of feeling until like I heard the beautiful poetry emanating from all of these wonderful people. Second place, we have coming up to the stage, if you'd like to give a word, Nicole Tracy.
Yeah.
That's Nicole.
Thank you.
Yes.
Y'all are dope. Come to the writing workshops. Some of my best shit has come from there. And donate to the GoFundMe because they pay their artists, and that's a really big deal, especially in a pandemic. And they need to continue to do that sustainably.
Thank you so much. I'm not gonna lie. If I was better paid, I feel like everybody deserves a first place prize. And I'm from the old school where participation trophies aren't really a thing. You know, it's not something we believe in. But tonight has been so excellent. I think everybody is a winner. Everybody won. Everybody has benefited from learning these poets' stories and hearing them share it. But the official, I guess, technical winner, since we got to give out money and be a slam officially or whatever. The official winner of tonight's slam, after can I get an appropriate drum roll? Can I get an appropriate drum roll? You motherfuckers are too good. All right. Give it up for the winner of 50 whole American dollars, Damani Thomas.
Gang, 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 gang. I don't know anyone better.
Yes, sir.
Come on, yeah. The one and only, the defender of Oakland.
Thank you. Yep. Just donate to the GoFundMe. Retweet what Nicole Tracy said. Donate to the GoFundMe. Keep RichOak Events alive. Tell your rich sugar daddies. Yep.
Because we know y'all got them. We know y'all do.
Like I was not expecting that last line, especially coming from someone as quiet and unassuming as Damani. But I so respect your gangster for that. And yeah, like rich sugar daddy, pay up. You know what it is. Well, we have been the Berkeley Poetry Slam. I have been your host, Prophet. And I just want to leave you with a very brief parting word. I want to thank you for your participation in tonight's slam. I want to encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Follow all of our pages. Oakland Slam on Twitter and IG. Berkeley Slam on Twitter and IG. Berkeley Poetry Slam, Oakland Poetry Slam on Facebook. RichOak Alchemy on IG. It will be some of the best follows and subscriptions that you can make. And also, poets, since the slam is ending pretty soon, I want to give you all an opportunity to shout out your IG handle. So can everyone take a moment to shout out how folks can reach you? What are your IG handles? IG or Twitter, what are your socials?
Then we should go in the order of who won.
I figured we should go in any order. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Nah, because no one's talking, so I was just like, make it easy.
All right, cool. So we have at I am Moody Black. We have at Rubik's Cubes and Pikachu's, all proper spelling for Sova. We have Damani Wright, DMANI Wright, WRITES. We have at Will_Allen___. We have Nicole at Nicole Tracy Wright. Nicole NICOLETRACIIWRITES. And she also has a cat profile for her awesome cat Adeline. also known as Adeline 9 Lives, at Adeline 9 Lives. Any other folks want to share their socials? Any other performers want folks to know how to reach them? Huh?
Adeline heard her name and came to say hi. And now she's tired of being held. But, yep.
Yes! We got a cat performance. It's not a prop if it's after the slam, right? So yeah, you should be good. You should be good. All right. I'm gonna double check to see if anyone else has shared their socials and is too shy to speak. Okay, doesn't look like it. So once again, I have been your host, Prophet. You can follow me on IG at the Hip Hop Prophet. But more importantly, follow us at Berkeley Slam on IG or Twitter. Please come back next Wednesday. Please come back Saturday, March 6th for the RichOak Alchemy open mic. And it looks like we have one more of these socials. And it's the one that I'm mad that I didn't even get. It is at Fancy Pants Anna. So if you like Anna's poetry, if their poetry touched your spirit in some way, if their words made you feel something, please follow them at Fancy Pants Anna. And until I see you next week, until we see you next week, I have been your host. This is Berkeley Poetry Slam. We love you, we thank you, and we out. Like Harriet Tubman.
Bye, everyone.